Hey guys, welcome back to Mana Down Under. I'm refilming this intro because when I exported my video, I lost a little bit at the beginning. So, Sliver Overlord Commander today. It's actually one of my good friend's commander deck. It's disgusting, but here it is. Enjoy. Now, the commander is Overlord, so one of each mana for a 7/7. That's very relevant. A 7/7 can kill you in 3 shots with commander damage. Its abilities are very strong. 3 mana, any mana, search your library for a Sliver card, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. Also pay 3 mana, gain control of target Sliver, which both can be used quite easily in the deck. People debate which of the lords you run in Sliver, but Overlord is probably the correct choice because it can get the other lords. Running Overlord makes the deck very consistent. It has no issue performing. If you run Queen or Legion or whatever the other ones are, Hive Lord, you're dependent on drawing what you need. This can get what you need. It just makes it a lot easier. For the rest of the video, I'm going to refer to them as the nasty because they are disgusting. So let's just get into it. So the first one is Queen in Legion. So the Queen can make more little nasty babies for 2 mana. She makes a 1/1, but later on that can be reduced by other effects, making it 1 mana for a 1/1, and then that's not going to be a 1/1. It's going to be like maybe a 5/5 flying double strike problem child. Legion, if you get it into play, you probably will win the game because it buffs them equal to another Slivers in play. So, Hive Lord makes all your little nasties indestructible. It's very hard to deal with them unless you've got constant exile removal, which I don't know who does. Now, the 2 mana ones. So both of them are 2 mana for 1/1 that lets them all tap for any colour. Now, it's worth noting that modern Slivers only say yours. Old school ones refer to all in play, even your opponent's. But the odds of you versing the same matchup, don't know. You've got your haste. So for 3 mana, you've got a 2/2 which can make all your creatures have haste, so the blower. Then you've got the heart. The heart does cost 1 less, which most people go for first. Now you've got all your little lords, your buffers. So muscle and predatory are the same thing pretty much. You've got Sinu, who is again same thing but color shifted, and you've got the big boy Magantic, which is 6 mana for a 3/3, but all Slivers get +3/+3. So he's actually a 6/6. And by the way, all the cards I'm showing the actual artwork is the exact one he runs. Some of them are foil, like all the from the Sliver Premium deck are going to be foil. The flyers, these will catch a lot of decks off guard. You build up your board mainly through the Naya color, and then you get a Gale Rider or a Winged, and then suddenly your whole board state just levitates and flies over to him. Now, Ameba Changeling. It's the only non-true Sliver in the deck, but it's a shapeshifter. So when you tutor for it, you can change a target creature's type to end a turn. You make a creature an opponent controls a little nasty, a little Sliver, and then you use the Hive, Overlord, to gain control of it. Because you can pay 3 mana, gain control of target Sliver. But if it's, yeah, you can see what I mean. It's a big threat because you can start stealing your commander, and if you're relying on your commander, well, what are you going to do? Belligerent just gives them menace, which is pretty handy. Bone Scythe gives them all double strike. Brood lets them produce more Slivers on hit, which if they've got a double strike, keep that in mind. Constricting lets every time Sliver enters the battlefield, exile another target creature and lock it down till it leaves play. Crypt makes it very hard to deal with them. They've all got regen. So you can't just kill one because the rest will just pick them up. It's like, okay buddy, you're okay, stay with us. Crystalline can break the deck or make it a nombo. Keep that in mind. It can make it near impossible for your opponent to target anything. Well, it does. But some of your abilities will not work. There's a few Slivers that say target another Sliver can do this, this, and this. You can't do it. Or if you're trying to use the Changeling combo to gain control of their creature, you can't do it with Crystalline. Because you turn them into Sliver, as soon as they hit a Sliver, they instantly get Shroud. You cannot target it with your commander. So keep that in mind. Harmonic. Whenever one little nasty comes into play, you get to kill an artifact or enchantment. But you have to. No may. So if your opponent's got nothing but you've got a few, you have to kill your own. Because of this, most of the decks will run Darksteel Ingot or Darksteel Citadel to target, but it's indestructible, so it's fine. Hibernation Nasty is really good. If someone tries to board wipe, you can just pay 2 life per one, bounce your whole board back in and recast. It's not an issue for you, and the deck can rebuild its board so quick. It's unbelievable. Homing. Now, I never knew this one existed until I saw it, like, oh god. Each little nasty has nasty cycling 3. So you can discard the card, search your library for another sliver, put it into your hand. It's every sliver can tutor for any other sliver you need. Magnum Sliver is game winning. So like I was saying earlier, the commander is 7/7, so it's the 3-shot kill. But Magma can make it a 2 1-shot kill, pretty easy. All slivers have target sliver gets X plus 0, and to end a turn where X is number of slivers in play. So, yeah. Mesmeric. I like this kind of ability. Whenever a sliver comes into play, you may Fate Seal. So you can look at your opponent's top card to decide whether you want it to stay there or go away, like to the bottom library. I wish they would bring back things like that, Fate Seal or Brainstorm, or like as a ability. Necrotic Sliver is very powerful. It gives all your little nasties the ability to Vindicate. You sack it for 3 mana, Vindicate. It really makes it quite strong against like Atraxa decks where Planeswalker removal isn't much of a thing in Commander. Like there's a couple of Heroes Downfall, but when you get Necrotic out, you can destroy Atraxa decks so easy. Here's a little combo. Quicksilver gives all slivers flash, but Root Sliver prevents them being countered. So on the stack, someone tries and counter a spell you control, you can tutor for flash, flash it in, and then you can flash in the non-counter sliver. Boom, stop them dead in their track. Sentinel just gives you vigilance, which is nice, especially if you're trying to attack and produce mana in the same turn. Shifting makes them only blocked by other slivers, which, when's that going to happen? Slidewind is a weird one. It gives all slivers flanking, so it will sometimes help out in combat, but it mainly stops weenie decks. If a weenie tries and blocks it like a token deck, it just dies before blocks. Spined is one of the slivers you can change out. It gives them all +1/+1 for each time they're blocked with each blocker. It can be replaced. It's okay, it does help out in combat, makes it a bit harder to deal with. Striking Sliver, first strike on all of them. Siphoning gives you lifelink on the board. That's actually one of my favourite ones, because it does sustain the deck even longer, especially with all the fetch lands in the deck. Sorry. Thorncaster and Venom. So Thorncaster, whenever one attacks, you get to ping 1 damage anywhere. But if they've also got Death Touch, before blockers are declared, you can wipe out their blockers, and then just roll on through. So Venom Silver. So Poison 1, it's not effect, so they still take combat damage, but they also get 1 poison counter. Just 1 though. But it's another way to win a game. So if an opponent gains infinite life or does something stupid out of reach in terms of damage, you only have to hit them 10 times with 10 different creatures. You can do it over 2 turns very easily in this deck. Ward Sliver. People don't know about this one. It comes into play, choose a colour. All your creatures are pro that colour. Now the enchantments. So the deck only runs a couple, I think 4. Anima Dead just brings back a good target that you need. Exploration. If this is in your opening hand, you keep it. Because the number of times I've seen a Sliver deck turn 1 Exploration and start to run away with the game. They dump out the 2 lands and they start dropping signets, and then they're like, their command is there turn 3. And then turn 4 they're tutoring up, setting up already, and you're just playing your lands like a chump. Training Grounds breaks the commander. Active abilities of creatures cost 2 less, but cannot be reduced below 1. Suddenly your commander is now pay 1 mana, 2 to your deck for any sliver. Pay 1, gain control of target sliver. You can't pay that. You cannot. That says you can cast any sliver from your deck that you want for 1 additional mana. You can't fight that. Wild Pair, whenever you cast a sliver, you can search your deck for any other sliver with the same total power and toughness, and put it straight into play. That's very powerful because most of the slivers are like 1/1s or 2/2s, and it doesn't have to be the exact same power and toughness. You could use a 2/2 to search for a 0/4, for example. Clone Legion, you copy target player's board state and you get a token for each type. You could target your opponent, but most of the time you'll target yourself, so you just double up the sliver army. Conflux is just a really good tutor spell in this deck. So is Diabolic. Genesis Wave, if X is 6 or greater, you'll hit every creature or every card in the deck. So most people, if you can, you just X as big as you can, get as many permanents as you can into play. Immortal Servitude. This is very powerful because again, the Slivers are very consistent in their mana cost. So Immortal Servitude timed right can bring back a lot of people. Patriarch's Bidding. In non-tribal matchup, it's very strong. Don't be afraid to pop it off just to resurrect 2 or 3 Slivers. It's very good. I've seen him do it for 1 before. If you're in a tribal matchup, be very careful when you activate it. Rise of the Dark Realms is mainly just to resurrect all your Slivers again, but it rubs a bit of salt in the wound by resurrecting their stuff and you gain control of it. Which, if you can turn it into Slivers, not too bad. Shamanic is just a big draw spell and a bit of life gain. There's 2 ramp spells here. They search for the land type but not a basic, and they put it straight into play. So both of these cards can go and get you shock lands, which isn't too bad. You could trade one out for a Sylvan Scrying. It does cost 1 less, but it doesn't put it straight into play, so it's kind of the trade-off. Wrath of God, you need a board wipe as commander. Blue Sun, because all your Slivers can tap for mana, you can just dump a ton of mana into this and draw a lot, or you can mill someone out with it. Boris Charm is just good utility. You should always have it if you can run it. Fact Efficient Fiction isn't needed, but who does not love Fact Fiction in Commander? It's a good fun spell. Mortify and Beautify are very good removal spells. You can hit enchantment, artifact, and creatures between the 2 of them. Very good. Sphinx's Rev. Again, you can produce so much mana in this deck and it can really carry the game. You run the 3 signets for Naya because they're your primary 3 colours. Black and blue are just support. Sol Ring because it's commander. Chromatic Lantern really helps this deck. Any land can tap for any mana, and as well as Chromatic Lantern can tap for mana. Very powerful. Darksteel Ingot, as I mentioned before, becomes a target for your Harmonic Silver, so you don't kill your own stuff. Door of Destinies. So every time you cast a creature of the chosen type, the Sliver, they get a +1/+1 counter on Door of Destiny. And each creature gets buffed equal number of counters on Door of Destiny. So even if you board wipe and Door is still there, you can rebuild a very powerful board. Obelisk is just a +2/+2 universal buff on the chosen creature. Then the lands. So he runs 10 shocks, which is good. He runs 9 of the body lands. For this deck to be improved, the body lands would be traded out for fetch lands, because you wouldn't need too much mana to win the game. Or maybe half and half. And then he runs 1 fetch land, Windswept, Eurobog, Command Tower, Mana Confluence, Path of Ancestry. A Sliver Hive is a crazy good land in this deck. An Unclaimed Territory. You could put a Ancient Ziggurat in here as well to deal with the creatures, because you're 39 creatures in this deck. Half your deck is going to be nearly creature. And 1 of each basic. So it's such a strong deck. It really is. The synergy they have is so hard to beat. The only way I find I can stand a chance in the game is if I have pinging Death Touch or hardcore removal or hardcore control. Like, you need to fight them really early on, even if you have hand attacks. Like, you have to play modern to beat them. But they're such a good deck. They're so strong. But yeah, have you had good experiences versing them? Have you had good experiences playing them if you do? I love and hate them. I can respect them, but I hate them so much because it's just disgusting. Alright guys, have a good one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya. Thanks for watching guys. Remember to like and sub, and have a good one.